jingles.
Hey there, everybody. I'm Shelly Palmer, and welcome to Web3 Wednesday night. I guess that's what I'm going to call this, Web3 Wednesday night or Web3 Wednesday live stream. New time. I'm glad all of you are here and could find it. We are very, very happy to be with you. I am very happy to be with you tonight. Kind of a super, super exciting day. I hope all of the tech is working just fine. Hello, Michael Port. Hello, Jason. Hello, everybody. Hey, Doug from Washington State. I'm glad you're here. Can you guys all hear me? Just let me know in chat. I want to make sure that the video is good. I want to make sure that everything is good tonight because we've had some problems with Dropbox completely just rewiring our entire path of every file. It's unbelievable to me. I'm looking all around here going, yeah, this is all working. Good. Well, welcome everybody. What an interesting day I have had. I just this minute got back from Meta's offices where I got to see the new Quest Pro. This is me. Let's see. This is also me. And that would be me. What I'm doing is I am wearing the new Quest Pro headsets and going through a demo there. It was so fun. Now, I am neither a fan nor a hater when it comes to virtual reality. I like virtual reality. I like things about it. Do I do it every day? No. It's more like the root beer to my Coca-Cola life. Every once in a while, you kind of want to have one. But I don't need it every day. I'm not interested in it every day. This demo was really, really cool. They've got new controllers with excellent haptics. The bang 'em up, shoot 'em up games are really fun. The arcade games are fun. When you pinch with your index finger and your thumb, actually, your middle finger and your trigger finger and your index finger, you can pick stuff up and throw it and do things with it that are much easier than with some of the other controllers I've used. The haptics are really good. It's also got a combo of VR and AR, meaning virtual reality and augmented reality. You can see through the front of the lens package so you can see the people who are in the room with you. It's actually not see-through. There's a camera in the front, and you're seeing a projection of the room inside your the lenses, if you will. It's much sharper than the Oculus Quest 2. It's better in every way. It does feel lighter than the Oculus Quest 2 headsets that we have because they took the battery pack and they put it in the back. And of course, it's $1,500, which is brutal. It's for developers. It's not for everybody. It's not for kids. It's certainly not for the light of heart or faint of heart. They've got a good SDK. They've got some interesting software, some very interesting partners. You go ahead and ask the question you want to ask, which is it something that anyone's going to ever really care about? I would like to jump on the bandwagon of people that absolutely, want to be naysayers or say negative or nasty things about Mark Zuckerberg or Meta or Facebook. And full disclosure, they're clients, but it has nothing really to do with the fact that they're clients. I don't want to hate on something this new and this undefined. They're spending a lot of money, and there are a lot of smart people working really hard to try and figure this out. Now, they may never figure it out, and it may never work, and it may never be interesting. That is entirely possible. And it wouldn't surprise me in any way if this didn't work, or it just wouldn't surprise me. Everything in the world doesn't work, and this may not be a thing, and we could have some Emperor's New Clothes, and Mark Zuckerberg could have called this one wrong. They missed mobile completely and absolutely. You know that when the mobile web started, Meta or Facebook at the time was nowhere to be seen, and they didn't. They were very late to that party. I think they did an amazing job catching up. They're trying to lead here. Let's let them lead. Let's absolutely let them lead. So just a couple things, some housekeeping before we jump in. Discord. You guys, come on. All of you who are here, let's be serious. You can join me on Discord, so I'd love to have you do that. Please, discord.gg/Shelly Palmer. This conversation is going on every day. Whatever we're covering in our newsletter, which of course is free for you to subscribe to, come on down, hang out with us on Discord. Okay, I think anybody who was around yesterday probably saw the all-new iPad with the all-screen design. Nilay Patel over at The Verge put this particular tweet up. I couldn't resist. Notice the bezel? It's like, come on, folks. How is that all screen? I don't know. It didn't make any sense. But it's expensive. It's new. Do you need it? I don't know. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. I don't know whether you do or not. But if you do need it, it's there for you. If it's time for a new iPad, they've got it for you. And it's, what can I tell you? There's a lot of different models. The iPad Pro, the iPad Air, they haven't changed them at all. They're still right there. It is what it is. Please, let me know who you are. Let me know where you are. Let me know. Let each other know what you do. Hello, Heath. Hello, Bob. Hello, Don. Hello, Alexis. Welcome to everybody. You know for a fact, you can get your POAP, your proof of attendance protocol token, by just going to shellypalmer.com/POAP. If you collect 5 of these, you are entitled to meet us at some of the salons that we do and some of the super secret handshake dinners and events that we have at major trade shows like CES, Mobile World Congress, South by Southwest. There's a new conference coming up in April called the Possible Conference. That's going to be held at the Fontainebleau in Miami in mid-April. If you're going to be at any of these conferences, get 5 POAPs, get 5 Shelly Palmer POAPs, and you will be on a list. You'll automatically, these are NFTs. They have no cost to you. You can get them with just your email address, or you can assign them to your digital wallet if you have an EVM, Ethereum virtual machine compatible wallet. Any wallet that'll hold ETH will hold a POAP, but you don't actually need that. Oh, wow, Joey's here. So, yeah, drop your questions in chat, and I'm totally happy to answer your questions. Here's our first question of the day to read this closely now, from Roger P. You wrote about Stable Diffusion, not safe for work this morning. Where can I find some? Roger, that's the whole point. In this morning I said you can't find any because we're not going to make it available. There is a site though. Let me just see if I can quickly get to it, and then you guys can see it. Yeah, I can do that. This is mage, MAGE.space, and this is an interface into Stable Diffusion. It is not censored in any way, so you could type something untoward into it and get it. I'm going to... Actually, someone in chat, go ahead and tell me what you'd like to write into mage.space and make it safe for work, please. And we'll get back to it as soon as I see something come up in chat. So if you want, I will type something in there and then we'll let it do its thing and we'll see what Stable Diffusion does. You can put any description in you want into chat. It's fine. And just make it clean, and I will do that. The issue is that porn has always led tech. Porn just leads tech. It's that simple. And a cat skateboarding on the moon in a snowstorm. All right, here we go. Wait a second. Let's see if I can type this without making a mistake. A cat. What'd you say? Skateboarding. On the moon. What else are they doing? In a snowstorm. Okay, here we go. I have no idea what's going to happen. This could be great or it could be absolutely awful. It's generating now. It says it's generating now. I wonder how horrifying this is going to be. I hope this works because otherwise it's going to be evil. It's still thinking. You can see the little thing grinding away. So we'll see what happens. Didn't take this long the other day. This must be particularly hard for it. A cat skateboarding on the moon in a snowstorm. I don't know. What do we think? Should we zoom in a little bit and see what's happening here? Let me see if I can zoom in a little. Oops. I made it go away by accident. Let's try one more time. Let's just see if it's any good at all. Metaphysics in the metaverse. Yeah. Pretty good. Could be better. I agree. Let's see what it does a second time. This one I really like. This is fantastic. We didn't tell it if it was going to be cartoon or not. One of the things about Stable Diffusion that's interesting, I'm just going to X out of this. You can do some options here. You can do cinema 16:9 or landscape or square, so you can set the aspect ratio. You can tell it whether you want low or high quality. We used low just now. But you can also constrain it. Strict, very strict. Let's say very strict. Let's say high speed. And let's say this thing could just be, let's make it iPhone 916. I just want to see what happens. This is still a cat skateboarding on the moon in a snowstorm. So I did like I absolutely liked the animated version better. Let's see what happens here. The reason that I brought this up is that porn has always led tech, and people are using Stable Diffusion to do all kinds of... That's interesting. It's two cats skateboarding on the moon in a snowstorm. I got to say, that's the closest one so far. It's a stricter constraint. So I think that might be a winner. I don't know if it's an actual winner, but that might be a winner. Could be. Porn has always led tech. What brought this up to me, where I ended up at Maj.space, is that it is a completely uncensored Stable Diffusion interface. And the better you are describing things, the better the pictures are going to be. We used one sentence and didn't particularly work that hard at it. But the more you know about art history, the more you know about places and things, the better you can describe something in text. I think the better, well, I know for a fact, the better Stable Diffusion works. And you can install this on your own computer, or you can use somebody's interface like Maj.space. The people in the adult entertainment industry are using this for all kinds of interesting stuff. People who are imaginative are putting celebrity faces onto bodies, are putting bodies onto bodies, are doing things that are imaginative. I'll just leave it at that. And it, covers the gamut from photorealism to any kind of style of painting or drawing that you can describe. So we're in the year of AI, and there's just no way around it. So yeah, okay. Tell me who you are. Tell me where you are. Tell me what you're doing. Tell each other what's going on. This is an Ask Me Anything kind of Wednesday. While we're thinking about asking me anything, I would love it, truly love it, if you would be kind enough to just go on Twitter right now, take a screenshot, do something, and just go at Shelly Palmer. For those of you who are not Twitter aficionados, don't put at Shelly Palmer as the very first thing you put. You will need a period or another character before at Shelly Palmer, or just write some text. You're at Web3 Wednesday. You can use the hashtag Web3 Wednesday. We just love to get some social media love. AJ from Southern California, welcome. Bob Sopko, glad you're here. And Alan Mostow, Metaphysics in the Metaverse. Yeah, that's the cool kid stuff. What do we have as another question here? Let's see. Another Q. This Q says, this is from Tina R. Are you buying any NFTs right now? Am I buying NFTs right now? Hey, Tom Herman. I buy NFTs on a fairly regular basis. Most of them, in fact, all of them, are related to the sports industry, because that's where we spend all of our time right now, in fan development and audience development for sports leagues and sports teams. We have also done quite a few smart contract projects for marketers that have included some NFTs, but those are generally programs, not ongoing. So, and let's face it, this is the crypto winter, and so all the speculators are gone. So when you start thinking about NFTs and this is not financial advice, and I'm not a licensed financial advisor, and should you need financial advice, please seek the counsel of a licensed financial advisor. Cryptocurrency and NFTs are inherently risky, and you should not invest any money without a full expectation that it will go away. Please consult a licensed financial advisor. That said, it is crypto winter, and all the speculators, all the get-rich-quick people have really gone away. And crypto millionaires have become crypto thousandaires, and crypto thousandaires have become crypto hundredaires. And so the speculators are gone. All that's left right now are people who understand the value being created by the smart contracts. And while they are a small but mighty crowd, they are mighty. And then people who are doing questing and gaming and who are engrossed in or immersed in storytelling that is being done by the major sports leagues. You will see Dapper Labs doing a good job with NFL All Day. You see them doing a good job with NBA Top Shot. There is a decided, real live, no kidding business in NFTs, but it's not the speculative financial endeavor that it was, we'll call it even 6 months ago. What do we have here from Tom? Tom H. What does this say? Oh, yeah, this is a tough time right now. Is this permanent or will we go back to noon? So you're asking me if am I going to do this at night? You know, the thing is, it is a tough time even for me. The noon, 12:15 to 1 o'clock is an interesting time slot. I like it. I may go to the morning. I have to figure out a time when it doesn't interfere with my business day, which has become a real business day, and there are back to business lunches, and everybody's getting back to work right now. So I'm thinking mostly people are home and can do what they can do. But I appreciate everybody that's here. I really do, and I truly appreciate the questions, and I appreciate the support. One more question here coming in from Sylvan S. What do you think of Amazon's Black Friday football deal with the NFL? I'll put that out to you guys. What do y'all think about it? I think it's a really interesting concept. Pretty sure that Amazon is going to profit mightily from the additional subscribers to their Prime service, because that's what they mostly do. And my guess is that they are going to do just great. I think there's going to be a big transition. And that big transition is going to occur as broadcast television gives way to streaming television. It's still going to be TV over the public internet, and it'll look and smell a lot like television, but the money coming out of big tech is pretty spectacular. And I see that as it's not a trend, it's just what's happening. Tom, you're asking, is there a POAP today? Yes, there is. It is shellypalmer.com/POAP. This is the October 19th, 2022 POAP, and you can get it by going to shellypalmer.com/POAP. Now, password sharing is caring, unless, of course, you're Netflix. Netflix is about to crack down hard on password sharing, and they had some increase in subs, about 2.5 million extra subs last reported period, so they think they're growing again. They're about to come down super, super hard on passwords, and they're going to start charging $6.99 a month for their advertiser-supported tier. How many of you would be motivated to watch commercials on Netflix by reducing your Netflix bill by a $10 bill each month? Please let me know in chat. I would love, or in the comments below, I would love to know what that's about. While we're talking about things that are awesome, Netflix is awesome. They're just doing some really strange stuff I don't understand. Hopefully you're a listener of TechStream with Shelly Palmer and Seth Everett. That's on Tuesdays. We drop it every Tuesday morning. Hopefully you will be able to join us. It's wherever fine podcasts are served. So you can find it at Spotify and Apple, of course, and Google Play and Amazon as well. So please join us on TechStream. All right. As excited as I was to be at Meta today, and I was excited about it, and I'm not lying to you, I was excited. The company internal documents are showing that Horizon Worlds are not really doing what they're supposed to do. We have pretty good documentation that people just aren't going there. And I've got a couple of theories about that. You can't design this in a vacuum. You can't design anything in a vacuum. You can't envision a world that you want everyone to come to and then expect that everyone's going to come to it. Now, it's entirely possible that you can get it right. You could argue Steve Jobs invented the iPod, although there were plenty of MP3 players out there at the time. You could argue that Apple invented the iPhone. Steve Jobs' vision for the iPhone was unique and his. Blank piece of glass, no keyboard, completely bucked the trend. Is it possible they did that in a vacuum with no testing and nobody liked it, and nobody wanted it, and no one understood it, but they brought it out anyway? I don't think so. I think as people started to work on it, everybody got super excited and everyone couldn't wait to have one of their own. That's what I think happened. Which is exactly the opposite of what's going on in the people that are working in the Horizon Worlds project. They're not sure what it is. They don't know why they need it. People don't seem enthused. It's at best, it's an arcade game. Maybe it's a nightclub, but it's not a utility, not yet. That said, this article where people are just beating up on Meta, stop that. That doesn't help. These are very, very early days, super early days. And the innovation is critically, critically important. Moving on, we've got Apple quietly pushing its TV ad product. Apple is going to get into the advertiser-supported business, in case you're wondering. All that privacy nonsense that Apple talks about all the time. Oh, we're going to keep your data private. Yeah. Well, they don't keep it private from themselves. They keep it private from everybody else. And Apple's about to turn that data into action. We're going to see some actionable advertising coming out of Apple. How do we know that? Well, they're rooting around the media business where we kind of hang out, and they're making it known that they're trying to figure that out. Let's just say that. They'll announce it when they announce it. If you are thinking about learning about the metaverse and crypto and NFTs and smart contracts and DIDs and soul-bound tokens and self-sovereign identification, you can go to metacademy.com, totally free and risk-free, and you will learn how to do all that stuff. If that is not what you want to do, if that's too much work, you can go over to shellypalmer.com/blockchain. There, you'll find links to our resource pages, a really nice database that a couple of wonderful people working on full-time now, just adding and adding all these really, really interesting companies and descriptions. It's a good resource for you. It's, of course, free of charge. shellypalmer.com/blockchain. You'll get to our blockchain resource pages. All right, this is one of my favorite stories of the last 2 weeks, and it's an Apple AirTag story. You know, people use Apple AirTags for all kinds of untoward, horrifying stuff, like bad stuff. This is a funny, funny story. So there's a lawn sign, a group of lawn signs, a lot of lawn signs in the town in Pennsylvania. I'll just leave it out, the name of the town out. And there's Democrats and Republicans, and they have their lawn signs. And the Democrats and Republicans, as you can imagine, don't care for one another as much as they might. And one side was ripping off all the lawn signs from the other side on a pretty regular basis. So one very clever person took an Apple AirTag and put it in their lawn sign. $25 gets you the homing beacon. I was just reminded of Grand Moff Tarkin and Darth Vader when Grand Moff Tarkin says to Vader, "Are you sure the homing beacon is secure? I'm taking an awful chance, Vader." And Vader was completely sure that it was all good. And it was all good. They could go ahead and track Princess Leia and Han and all those guys. So yeah, it was, it worked fine. It cost them more than $25, I'm sure. But in your case, or in this case, it only cost $25. When the person reported lawn signs missing again, went to the police to file a report. So we know exactly where they are. They're in a dumpster behind a commercial building in the middle of town. And they went and they found all the lawn signs, and there's security footage, so they have a pretty good chance of finding the people who took the lawn signs. Can you use your Apple AirTag the same way? You absolutely can, and maybe you should. I don't know. It's a pretty funny story. I really enjoyed it. Another story that we all really need to care about. This one also happened last week, and it's worth thinking about. SCOTUS, the Supreme Court of the United States, was listening to a case about fair use. Now, I'm not a lawyer, and there are plenty of lawyers out there. Many of you are actually lawyers, so you can weigh in on this if you'd like in chat. A woman named Lynn Goldsmith, a professional photographer, took the picture that looks like a photograph on the screen of Prince. It's pretty clearly a headshot, kind of a promotional headshot. It's the kind of headshot that a lot of actors and actresses have, and many celebrities have to sign autographs on. Just promotional shot. It was used in a magazine, as many promotional shots are, because when a magazine asks for a picture of a celebrity, very often they're just sent the approved pictures, so that there's some control to be had by the celebrity as to what their image and likeness would look like in a magazine. The other side of this is an Andy Warhol interpretation of that photograph, but it's a derivative work, as you can clearly see. It's traced over, it's colored or posterized, it's Warholized, really. So there's a lawsuit in front of the Supreme Court, which is Goldsmith versus the estate of Andy Warhol. And the question is this fair use? Was this okay? Is this a derivative work that is okay? Or does the Warhol estate owe Lynn Goldsmith millions and millions of dollars in royalties? This should send chills up everybody's spine. Now, when you or I are photographed, and I am photographed, we don't necessarily own our name and likeness. The person who took the photograph has created a piece of art, and by copyright law, that person is the owner of the copyright to that photograph the moment they snap it in their camera. So this gets really interesting. Because if Goldsmith wins, then the derivative work is going to have to be ferreted out by the algorithms at YouTube and TikTok and Google and everywhere else. And those algorithms are going to err on the side of caution. They are not going to err on the side of promiscuous thoughts. They're going to basically go right for it, which is going to change everything you can put on. Everything you can put online is going to get changed. The way the Supreme Court thinks about it, there are 4 parts of the test that the Supreme Court would think about when they are thinking about this. It's what was the purpose of the new work? What's the nature of the new work? Is the original work substantially used in the new work? And then the 4th is, how does the new work impact the market value of the original? Well, pretty clearly, they're both used in magazines. This is a direct knockoff. This is not inspired by. The Warhol estate is defending Andy Warhol's use of the photo. Literally, take the photo and do like that Andy Warhol thing to it. It's a pretty big deal. Watch this closely. It could change absolutely everything there is about everything there is. So, Seth Everett is here, my compatriot and partner in crime at TechStream. So, hey Seth, this is our promo. And remember, we drop these on Tuesday. Now, Seth is in chat, and what are you saying now? That black and white photo was taken in 1981 for the Controversy album. Seth worked with Prince for a long time, so thanks for that little bit of trivia. Now we know. You can ask all your questions in chat, or you can send them on Twitter, or you can any way you like. Here's a question now. Let's see what it says. Wow, I gotta really get up here to read this one. I keep getting eSIM not supported messages on my iPhone. Bob from Queens. Hello, Bob from Queens. I am very happy you're here. eSIM not supported. I got it on my iPhone too. Two things. You wait a minute and let the phone reset, and it will reset, or it won't. If your phone doesn't reset, it's because there's a giant bug in iOS 14s and in iPhone 14s and iOS 16 that is messing with the eSIM, which is the subscriber identification module. And an eSIM is a version of that without a chip. There's no physical chip in with the eSIM identifier. So, according to Apple, they're trying to fix this. If your phone freezes, Bob from Queens. Sorry, it's not funny, but I just think Bob from Queens is funny. You have to bring it back to the Genius Bar. You can't, don't restore the phone, don't reset the phone. If you can't get this thing to come back to life by just waiting for it to unfreeze, you can do that up down volume and hold the power button until you see the Apple logo, and that's not restoring your phone, that's just resetting your phone. You can try to do that, and maybe you'll get your phone back. Don't restore from iCloud, because that will brick the phone in a way that will make you really unhappy. Doug R., what is your question here? Doug R. asks, I can't read this. Are real SSIDs available? Is anyone actually accepting them? SSID, or self-sovereign identification, SSI, or DID, decentralized identification, there are dozens of schemas out there. There are also non-blockchain versions of it. FIDO 2 is the standard from the FIDO Alliance. Microsoft, Google, all the big players, which is a passwordless, centralized, but a passwordless identifier. So, yeah, they're out there. Accepting them, you don't see very many. Well, a Web 2 site by definition probably can't accept it. There you're using OAuth or a more traditional, log on with Google, log on with Facebook tool set. You're not going to be using a Web 3 identifier on a Web 2 site. When you log in with your wallet to Decentraland or to the Sandbox or to a decentralized exchange or some other fully decentralized site, that is the equivalent of an SSI or a DID, depending on how the site interprets what's going on in your wallet and what's in your wallet. Do you actually have the SSI in your wallet? Do you actually have the DID in your wallet? If you do, that smart contract can be read by the site, and it'll have metadata that you control and data that you control, and it will release the data that you're willing to release. There are very few sites that I'm aware of that go that deep right now. What I would suggest you do is go just do a very, very quick Google search for DID, which is decentralized identifiers or identification, and SSI, self-sovereign identifiers or self-sovereign identification. SSID, which I say a lot, that's actually a phone identifier. So SSI is the way you'd want to search it, and you'd want it rather than SSID, which will come up with a whole bunch of telecom jargon that will make no sense to you. And I'm guilty. I do it all the time. I say SSID because it's just the way I say it, which is wrong. I think it's wrong. Not that there's a right way to do anything in this world, but SSI and DID, decentralized identification. Search for that and see how you do. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised that the people who are working on it are way, way, way farther along, much farther along than anyone would have you believe. I think the other problem is that as crypto winter has hit us and as a lot of people have backed off from Web3 specific sites, you're not seeing, and DAOs have sort of gone away a little. They're not as, for all the reasons you can imagine, they're not as popular as they were a few months back. So, yeah. Let's see. What's this? What's this from Don L? Oh, Don. No, that's embarrassing. Is there anything I don't know when it comes to tech? Yes. The volumes of what I don't know so far exceed the little minimal information that I actually possess. It's frightening and humbling what I don't know, Don. But thank you for that very nice compliment. I the more I learn, the more I know I don't know, and that we are in a time this year especially. This is going to be the killer year. AI always improve. Everything improves at an exponential rate. All tech improves at an exponential rate. But AI has just been on a hockey stick. Now it's like a straight up line. Every day you wake up and something new and crazy is going on in generative, in workflow and process, in the just the overarching capability set. One of the things that I thought about yesterday, and maybe you guys will have some thoughts about it too. It seems to me that the amount of AI that's out there, what's going to be required and required soon, is a fairly significant number of training sets that do not exist. And I was wondering if there's a role for synthetic data in the world now. Like how would you use AI to actually generate synthetic data sets that other AI could train on? Now that's sort of recursive and weird, and now starts making you think that, well, if AI could make its own training sets and train itself, we just almost did it with the Stable Diffusion MAG generator. What if instead of telling it to generate one image, we had it generate 1 million images of sheep in meadows, 1 million images of sheep in meadows, and then just kept refining it and refining it and refining it, and then used it to train an image recognizer to recognize sheep in meadows? Is it possible? Yeah. Is there synthetic data in the world? Of course there is. So, yeah, I'm really interested in what's happening with AI this year, and you will be too. Like, this is that year for sure. What else I want to talk to you guys about today? Oh, well, we're coming towards the end of the session, but your POAP, your Proof of Attendance Protocol token, is shellypalmer.com/POAP. If you have any more questions, I see people are writing things in chat. Instead of copying a copywritten photo, what about a filter? You said they Warholized the photo. Can Warhol filter be copyrighted? What if I tell Dolly to Warholize a Prince photo? Welcome to the complexities of 2022. Who is to say if you Warholized, like the Warhol filter, the posterization filter, you could do it. The more you know about art history, the better you are at naming things. Hi, I want this to be Bauhaus meets Matisse at an Impressionist painter's home in, circa 1920. None of those things make sense. They're all non sequiturs. But if you told it to an AI that was generating stuff, it would understand each of those terms separately and do its best to hook you up. Is that copyrightable? Is the work generated by AI copyrightable? If you filter your own image, is it you? And if it is you and you control your user, your name and likeness, is the filtered you? Since it wasn't really you? Or is that just a copyrighted image that you have that really has nothing to do with you? Just the copyright on the art. None of this is worked out. It's awesome. It's just going to be awesome. Any more questions? Please, in chat. As we're like I said, we're coming sort of to the end of our appointed time tonight. A couple things I want to talk about real quickly. I know I do this every week, and I want to do it again. What's going on in the Ukraine is unacceptable in every way you can say unacceptable this week. They're dropping more missiles. The Russians are just declared martial law in parts of the Ukraine that they've occupied. So if you want to donate and help people living there, this is a URL that takes you to an NBC site where they have vetted all of the charities, and you can donate safely and know that your money is going to get where it needs to go. And I hope you'll do that and donate as well as you can. Also, if you go to shellypalmer.com/Newhouse, the Newhouse Advanced Media Lab series is starting up, and we're getting real serious about topics that matter. Everything like we're talking about these AI copyrights, and we're talking about fair use and what that all will mean to us in the media business and in the entertainment business. We haven't even gotten into what it is to do original production using these tools, which will be spectacular. AI bias is an incredibly important topic. Social media addiction. These are all things we're going to cover at the Newhouse Advanced Media Lab series. So I hope that you will join us. It's a great group of people. It's a combination of academia and corporate and government. So we put those three groups together and we try to talk about the things that matter the most to all of us. Please tweet something. Don't care what you tweet something. I just need you to tweet. I don't care what you tweet, but tweet something, because I always feel lonely that no one's actually tweeting. It makes me sad that there's no tweeting going on. All right. We're pretty much coming to the end of tonight. I want to thank everybody for being here. It's such a wonderful time of the week. I know that 7:15 at night on a Wednesday is tough, so thank you for coming out tonight. I really, really appreciate it. If you've got a better time, if you've got a time you think that would be better, send me an email. It's easier. Shelly@shellypalmer.com. Just shoot me an email and say, look, I'd rather see this on this day or this time. I'm fascinated to know what the best time of day would be for everybody. Lastly, we have CES coming up. So if you want to learn about CES, you can go to ces.shellypalmer.com. And, we have some pretty fun stuff happening in person this year. We're going to be there. I hope you will be too. But if not, we also got some virtual stuff going on. So you go to ces.shellypalmer.com to learn all about that. And with that, I'm going to say, hey, thank you all very, very much for being here. Again, this is what I love to do on Wednesdays. It's a Web3 Wednesday. You miss most of the daytime ones, too busy. Yeah, I know a lot of people miss the daytime ones. So hopefully all of you will be able to join me next week, and we'll try to find the right time of day to do this, because I like doing it live. It helps me practice. It helps me, do all my ooh, whoosh, I'm whooshed in. Ooh, I've whooshed out. I get to do all that stuff, and I even get to use my little sound effects. So, which I didn't do any of today because I wasn't in the mood to get silly. But anyway, look, let's help. You can help me find the right time of day to do this, and I look forward to seeing every one of you next week. All the very best. Take care.